When it comes to African wealth owners, there's always been one company, one brand, and one man that appears every time, as far as I can remember. Aliko Dangote. A Nigerian business magnate worth billions of dollars, the founder and CEO of the Dangote Group, with an estimated net worth of over $14 billion as of April 2023. He is Africa's wealthiest man. Aliko Dangote has been Africa's richest man for the past 10 years in a row. I don't think you get the idea. I'll help you understand. How much is $14 billion? If you can save 58 million naira every single year, it will take you about 140,000 years to save $14 billion. If you could save 5.8 million every single day, meaning at the end of every day, you're able to send 5.8 million naira, it will take you about 2,836 years to get about $14 billion. You see, this is so much money, and it all belongs to man Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa. You see, when you see people like this, you have one question to ask. How? How did you do it? What is your secret? How did you make so much money? When did you start? Where? How? What don't we know about you? What is your source of wealth? What is your power of making money? And so, my friends, you might want to take a deep breath, sit back, and get ready to explore with me the story of the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote. Dangote was born into a Muslim family in Kano State, located in the northern region of Nigeria, in which is the most popular state of Nigeria, and also Africa's most popular state when the British arrived. Unlike me, obviously, he was born into a wealthy family. I mean, he was born into luxury. You might not know this, but Dangote is the great-grandson of Alhassan Dantata, the richest West African. Dangote attended the secondary school in Jigawa State before he went abroad to Egypt to study at the university. He received a bachelor's degree in business studies and administration at the age of 21. At this point, you might begin to make a suggestion in your mind. Dangote was born with a silver spoon. He was not born with hardship. He doesn't have to struggle. He didn't have to struggle. He had all he could ever want. No wonder he's rich. But I mean, why won't he be rich? Yes, you may be right. It actually contributed to him being wealthy. But actually, this is far from the reason why he's this wealthy. And besides, it's not like he's the only child born into a wealthy family that actually became really wealthy. There is something more in which we don't know. While he grew up, his family was purely industrious. Dangote was very entrepreneurial from a young age. He spent most of his childhood with his grandfather, Dantata. Under the British rule, Sanusi Dantata, Dangote's grandfather, grew his trading commodities like green roots and rice. They took it as one of Kano's biggest way to make money. You see, Dantata insisted on raising Dangote, his grandson, himself, which is very common in the northern Nigeria. Dangote did something unusual when he returned from Egypt in 1977 after finishing his studies. You'd think he starts working his family's line of business, or continuing the same way of his family. Inherited wealth, as you may see. Sure, he had a degree in business administration, but he did not join the Dantata group, that is his grandfather's business. He did not join the Kano State government or a corporate body as most of his parents did. This would have been a good and fail-safe idea, but Dangote wasn't buying it. He had his own ideas, he had his dreams, and most importantly, he had a strategy. First of all, he asked his grandfather for permission to move to Lagos. He was granted, so he moved to Apapa in Lagos State. And I believe most of you watching this video may actually know this place, Apapa, Lagos State. One fateful day, he approached his uncle and managed to convince his uncle to lend him money to start his own business. worth $500,000. Of today, this is equivalent to a little above 207 million naira. Alright, so what was Dangote going to do with this money? Well, he had a good plan. You'll see. Now, Dangote was well capitalized and a naturally directed trader. He used the money to import soft commodities at wholesale prices from international suppliers. What was he importing? Two of his main imports were rice and sugar from Brazil. He then sold all this in small quantities to consumers in his village. That was it. Okay, so how did this go? I don't know how exactly, but this was a major success. The venture quickly became successful and turned into a cash flow. In an interview with Forbes, Dangote claims that his best day, he was getting a daily profit of $10,000 as at then. You see, this allowed him to repay his uncle in 3 months. So let me get this straight. You take $500,000 to start a business, and in just 3 months, you're able to comfortably pay off that loan. Wow, this is something. You see, there was a problem with this. It's too large on a return on investment in 3 months, considering these other factors. What about Dangote's competitors? Surely he wasn't the only one into the importation business. His competitors were not making as close of a profit as he was. He totally subdued everyone else. But how? How come? Was there a supernatural ability that he came in contact with along the line? You may say so, but definitely not. You see, Dangote was independent of the Dantata group, but he wasn't independent of his family's influence and power. Dangote was known for using aggressive tactics to beat his competitors. He had been accused severally of using his influence with the Nigerian government, pledged on his family's background, to ban imports by his competitors. He has been accused of pushing port authorities to halt his rival shipments. He has also been accused of using sharp bribes to put his competitors outside his business. But there was one thing that was sure: Dangote worked with the Nigerian politicians. According to a State Department cable, Dangote held exclusive import rights in sugar, cement and rice. What this means is that Dangote was really pressing the nation at that time who could import these commodities without any limitations. So he used such advantages to do growing businesses and cut his competitors. Dangote, of course, flatly denies this. Obviously, what are you expecting? However, he admits that he has been friends with several presidents of Nigeria and he has been enjoying lucrative tax base, and that was all. You see, during this time, Dangote made so much money, enormous amount of money. But the Dangote company as you know it today has not yet been born. This was just the beginning. In fact, it was just the beginning.